Yo, what's up guys? It's Talon, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play the best AP top laner in Wild Rift, which is Mordekaiser. So before we do anything else, let's just quickly talk about the build, which is typically played at Steel Caps, Riftmaker, Crystalline Reflector, Rylai's Scepter, Spear Visage, and Twin Guard, with Conqueror, Nullifying Orb, Second Wind, Perseverance, and Giant Slayer as the runes. So these things obviously can change sometimes, but that's going to be a pretty general build. If you're into a more AP champion, instead of going for Crystalline Reflector, I'll usually go for Liandry's instead, but that's going to be kind of the typical build that I will go for. And so, now just talking about why Mordekaiser is so strong. So overall, as an AP champion, he actually has a pretty decent lane phase in general, which is one of the main reasons why he's actually relatively strong. And then he's also just really good scaling, really good overall damage, and really good at carrying, both in team fights because of that ultimate. That can obviously mess up a jungler really easily, but also just like his overall damage and everything like that. So he can, even when he's behind, he can still be useful by ulting a jungler or ulting the carry and making the carry be out of the fight. And when he's really strong, he can target the strongest member of the enemy team in his ultimate and just completely destroy them. So some of the main things that you kind of got to understand on Mordekaiser at first is his passive, which basically, if you get the last hit on 3 minions, you're going to get that like damaging circle around you, or if you hit an enemy 3 times. And so that's going to be a pretty important thing to try to trade around when that comes up. Definitely one of the main things as well. And then also, last hitting is a bit harder on Mordekaiser compared to a normal top laner because he's AP, so his auto attacks do less. So don't be afraid to use your abilities to last hit as well. That's definitely something to keep in mind. Something I had to learn, because you don't have mana, so you might as well, you know, whenever you really can, use it. And then if we start going into this game, again, we've kind of just been talking about general things because the lane phase has been pretty boring. But right now you can see how I'm kind of letting the Mundo push, and I'm just going to get control over the wave instead, because then I can get level 5 first. I can have those bonus stats and kind of scare him off of trading with me super hard. And so again, we're going to get our passive up and we're just going to go start killing the Scorpion. And again, another thing to keep in mind, your first ability does bonus damage if it's isolated. So if you only hit one thing with your first ability, it'll do bonus damage on it. So that's definitely something you need to keep in mind in general. And so here you're going to see early on our team is kind of getting invaded. And so we're going to see if we can maybe help them out, but obviously it's a little scary to go help them out because we might lose the wave. But again, because they're fighting so deeply in there, we're going to do that, and then we're just going to start trading on this Mundo. Anytime that you can isolate people, you're going to be really happy. So here we're going to get this Talon isolated. We're going to get him killed there pretty easily, but our team does die, so now we just kind of run back away. But again, it's just so nice. You can literally isolate someone and pretty much kill them. Like, the damage is absurd when you isolate them, because not only do you take over some of their stats, but if you do get the kill on them, then you get their stats until they respawn as well. So you can see how I had that little like icon of Talon above me. That's because I killed him, and then once he respawned, it went away. And so again, now we're in a decent spot since we got that early kill. We're just kind of playing again to scale up. You don't really need to be doing anything crazy in the lane, and oftentimes you can let the lane kind of push a bit towards you because of the fact that then you can really easily land your third ability and pull people in. So if people want to push the lane on you, level 1, level 2, level 3, you'll be perfectly happy with that, obviously, because you can just easily threaten to pull them in. Generally speaking, I haven't found too many really difficult matchups. Renekton can be a little hard, and Jax felt pretty hard because he can kind of outscale you and still like beat you. Darius and Riven, generally just any champion who does a good or who just does pretty good whenever you ult them, those are going to be the champions that are really hard, which is why Darius is really hard. Obviously Set's not too hard, but it's not super easy either, kind of like a 50-50 matchup, because Set's pretty good at fighting in those types of circumstances as well. So basically just any champion who's pretty weak at fighting you in your ult is probably not going to be very good. So Mundo, he's a bit weird because Mundo passive obviously will block CC, and so into the Mundo you kind of have to be like pretty aware of his passive, and you have to use your third ability to proc his passive before you ult him. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to kill him. So that's something you definitely need to keep in mind as well. And you can see here, we're sitting on a lot of gold, so we wanted to try to find a recall angle, but obviously we weren't really able to. And so we just keep trying to recall, but now our Nyla is going to look for a gank here. So we're just going to push out our wave. But again, we want the anti-heal here, and we already have enough for Riftmaker as well. So I think we're going to get Riftmaker and anti-heal on this back. Normally, I would rush my boots, but in this situation, boots are not as valuable into the Mundo because he's not really that threatening for me, so I don't need that much defense, and I really need the anti-heal early. and the Rift Maker is definitely going to help me melting those tanks and everything like that. So again, you can see the game's going very poorly. And I've found when Mordekaiser, or on Mordekaiser, when the game is going very poorly, you want to play really, really hard towards side lane, because the nice thing about side laning on Mordekaiser is even if two people come, you just ult one of them, and then boom, it doesn't matter that there's two people there. You can kill one first, and then, you know, you can try to kill the other afterwards. So if you get a big lead on the side lane, even if your team is behind, it's actually really, really nice to just be able to push that lead and snowball the game, and you scale really well, so then you can later on in the game play more for those actual fights. And you can see how much damage we get. We get the ignite on the Mundo. We get him about half health really quickly there. So that's definitely nice. You can just see the amount of damage that we're able to do on someone when they're isolated. It's pretty absurd. I think we try to ult the Lissandra here, mainly so that she can't kill our teammate as fast, but she still does end up killing them. And we miss all our spells because we're just a goat like that. So obviously, if you miss all your spells, you're not going to be the strongest champion. You definitely got to hit your abilities. That's one of the main tips. I know it's a complicated tip, but you got to hit your abilities. But no, it's pretty easy to hit most of Mordekaiser's abilities most of the time. So you generally can auto aim a lot with the first ability, especially since there's a pretty long range, or large radius rather. Pretty wide range, I guess. Not really radius, but you know what I mean. Either way, we pull in the Mundo, we get a lot of damage on him. We look for the potential all in. He uses his ultimate, but again, that damage that we have is just really, really high. So we're again trying to land at every spell. Obviously, sometimes you miss, you know what happens. But again, that damage, just super insane damage overall whenever you get someone isolated. And then here we tried out cooldown boots, I remember now, because I don't have a specific like damage type that Mundo does to me. Like he does some AP, some AD, so I was kind of like, let me just try these cooldown boots out. I still recommend the defensive boots overall in the other games I've played. But in this game, cooldown boots felt, you know, decent. They didn't feel bad or anything like that. So that's a kind of option if you really want, but I don't recommend these boots in many scenarios. And then here we're going to grab the Scorpion and then start pushing out as well. Here, the Lucian goes on to our teammate as well. They're very fed already, the Lucian is, so we're definitely a bit worried about that, but we try to ult the Nami, see if we can just kill her at least. We get her with one Q, and then one more Q, and she'll just instantly die, so we get her there. Pretty nice. We try to kill the Lucian, but obviously can't really end up doing that, and we end up dying. And the Lucian's on a rampage, so overall game looking very poor. We're, you know, pretty ahead, we're pretty strong, but the rest of the team not looking so hot. And so you can see here we go for the Liandry's because of the fact that we don't really need the armor into a Mundo. So we go for Liandry's there, which is really good at melting these tanks as well. Heartsteel tanks, you know, going Liandry's into them is very good because the damage, the burn is based on their max health, I believe. So overall works out really nice into there. It might be on their current health, but either way, does very good in the Heartsteel champions. And so yeah, we have a pretty big lead here, but literally everyone on my team is mega behind. And you can see how I'm worried more about the side lane, because I know if I get to a certain item point, it's not really going to matter what's going on in the rest of the game. I'm going to be able to completely pop off against these fed champions, because again, the nice thing is too, a lot of their fed champions are pretty squishy. You know, Talon, Lucian. If I ult those people, I can still kill them, even if they're really ahead, just because of the fact that, you know, that's just how my champion works. And that's really what Mordekaiser is really good at. He's really good at shutting down kind of a carry. So when your team does end, when they make dumb plays, he's a pretty good champion for sort of, you know, alleviating that pressure. And so after going to the bot lane, pushing that out, we're going to go towards mid to just get some extra gold, maybe find a kill. And so we end up getting that Lissandra with the little snipe there. The passive finishes her off. And so again, we're looking very good. Overall, again, the game not going well, but you could really be sort of in your own little bubble as Mordekaiser in a lot of ways. And so here then we're going to ult the Talon, and we're going to whack him and get another shutdown. So overall, just looking, you know, very strong ourselves, definitely continuing to try to push our lead, focus on the snowballing, focus on kind of scaling up. Because once we get towards, you know, the later game with Mordekaiser, we're going to be very strong. So we hit that Liandry's. That Liandry's is going to be a really big power spike for us overall. Samira going ham, trying her best. But again, we're going to go for the Spear Visage then. I mean, you heal a decent amount on Mordekaiser, so Spear Visage is pretty nice. And because they have some magic damage, you know, the MR is going to be nice for us as well. You also have that shield as well, obviously, you know, like the shielding, of course, is one of the biggest reasons that you get the Spirit Visage. Like, it makes your shielding really insane. And then you can go Gargoyle as well, and then overall, that's just like, all really good. But we just get absolutely melted by that Lucian. You can see how fed he is, but then he goes on to us, and we actually end up getting the kill with the burn and everything. That's a 1,000 gold shutdown, so almost got caught out, almost kind of entered there, but then we end up getting the kill, and obviously very good because he had a 1,000 gold shutdown. So you can see I actually have the most gold in the game at this point, even more than that Lucian because of that 1,000 gold shutdown. And so we're actually looking pretty good again. Just continuing to focus on the side lane, but then catching the waves after we push out the side lane and just isolating whoever we can. And then this game was 3 days ago, so I don't remember if I go to this team fight, but I imagine I do go to the team fight because I'm on 2.5 items. I have my gargoyle, I have my ult up, I'm overall very strong. The enemy make a mistake and get caught, so now if we're able to catch out a Lucian or something here, it's pretty much GG for this fight, and we're going to be able to get that dragon. So that's the main focus that we have so far. Just trying to focus on the Mundo, trying to see if we can pull anyone else. And then we see the Lucian there, and so you see I'm going to ult the Lucian as soon as he tries to go in. And then because, you know, again, my champion can literally like 2-tap him, we're going to do exactly that. So we get the kill onto the Lucian again. Their strongest member has now died twice in a row to us. That's really what you're so good at, is just killing these 80 carries, and I just love doing it. You know, it's so satisfying. You know, an 80 carry, he thinks he's on top of the world, and then all of a sudden you just hook him, you ult him, and he dies in like 2 Qs. Pretty absurd overall damage, and that's exactly why I'm telling you guys that this champ's so strong. You saw we got the pull onto the Talon there too. That pull completely messed him up, and then he died. Their Talon is a Sovereign player too, so he's definitely a very good player. I don't know if he's currently Sovereign, but I do know that he is hit Sovereign. So overall, I mean, this is a hard game, definitely, in terms of our opponents. But we're ending up, you know, putting ourselves in a pretty good spot to carry it. And then when you get to the late game, your Q just does, like, your Q is first ability, by the way. I know some people get confused, but Q is first ability, W is second ability, E is third ability, and R is your ultimate. Those are just the PC terms. I don't even play PC, but I use them because it sounds cooler. So, but either way, you just land a couple Qs on someone, they're pretty much going to get one shot, and that's really the satisfying thing. So you can see again here, we go to the side lane first. We split push on the opposite side of the objective, so every time as a top laner after the second dragon, you're going to want to go split push on the dragon side because that's the opposite side of the Baron, and then once you push it out, you can now make a decision for whether or not you want to rotate or stay on the side lane. So here you see we kind of end up wanting to rotate or help our team out in case they go for the Baron, which they do end up doing. And so now we get the first move onto the Baron, so we drag the Lissandra to us on the side lane, and then we get to rotate towards the Baron. Obviously, she's able to take the Hex Gate there, but now we're just kind of looking for the team fight overall. And we do end up really quickly getting a lot of damage onto her. End up killing her, ulting the Talon right after. Getting almost a double kill. I think we still end up getting a double kill here because he's kind of trapped. And so yeah, we do get the double kill there just from isolating the targets. But now the Lucian is kind of in a position to potentially pop off, which is a little bit scary. So we're trying to see if we can shut down the Lucian at all, but obviously kind of hard to kill him over the wall. Either way, you can just see that damage that we were able to get coming to the team fights after going on the side lane. And now we're able to get the Spear Visage. So we're on 3.5 items. Looking for the Morellos as our 4th item to finish because we want that anti-heal. Obviously, we already have the anti-heal component, and so now we're just finishing it. And then again, now I'm strong enough where I can really team fight whenever I want. So anytime my team, you know, is looking to fight or anything, I'll definitely try to put myself in a position to ult that Lucian, to ult the Talon, and to be in a good spot. The things that I have to kind of be aware of are usually when you're into an enchanter, they're going to go for Veil, and then they could Veil your ultimate if they do it really well. But here they don't have Veil, which was definitely a mistake by the Nami. The Nami should have gone Veil for sure, because if they're able to Veil any Mordekaiser ultimate from their Lucian, they could pretty much win the game off of it. Veil is extremely OP, honestly. So probably just the best enchant in the game. Obviously, it's only used on certain champions, but it's really OP. And so here you see our team going for the Baron, and the nice thing is when we flip the Baron, I can ult the Talon if he comes too close, or I can ult really whoever I want. So if I see anyone coming that's kind of dangerous, you can see I'm just going to ult the Lucian, and we're going to pretty much immediately kill him. We're going to make him flash as well, and we're going to, you know, just kind of ruin his day overall. And so you're just so good at zoning up these objectives and things like that. And so then we end up getting pretty much everyone going for the Nami then last. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to kill her as well. And again, these are just the things that you can do. Do I kill her? We go for the Q flash. Yeah, we do kill her. So again, Q flash is another combo to keep in mind, by the way. Yeah, Q flash, pretty good combo overall. And then we almost killed ourselves here, but I think we make it out, so it's fine. And now, I mean, again, completely popping off, completely carrying the game. Pretty 1v9 overall right now. Which again, if you get at least even or a little bit ahead in the early game, you just start playing around those side lanes, and then once those team fights come, you utilize your ultimate to shut down the carry or to make the jungler not able to smite. It's a really straightforward champion. Like, I told you guys I didn't want to give you an Echo video after only a couple games because I wanted to get better at Echo. But Mordekaiser I've probably only played 10 games of maybe, and I'm already like confident I can give you guys, an explanation on how to play the champion pretty well. Obviously, if I played 1,000 Mordekaiser games, I'd be able to give you guys better information. But I don't think this champion requires a ton of time to really understand how to play it or how to use it. It's pretty straightforward. You just try to get through the lane phase, which isn't even too bad. Then try to isolate people whenever you can. And you just pretty much ult, again, the carrier, the jungler, and the team fight. And so we end up getting kited out by the Talon here, chasing him around the entire map. Probably should have just left him at this point, honestly, but, eventually we realized, yeah, let's just leave him alone. Let's go get the dragon and potentially help out our team or something. The Lulu doesn't get the memo, and so then we want to go and maybe help the Lulu so she doesn't die, but ends up being fine. We get the dragon, like I said. Not the most value from the T-Rex ever, but it's all right. And then Lulu's still just being a silly goose. We do end up ulting the Talon to try to kill him. I don't know if we end up actually killing him. I'm trying to get the Ignite onto him. We do land the Ignite, so yeah, we do end up killing him. We're godlike now. Going on to that Lissandra next, but she's going to obviously escape with her third ability. And so now we're just fighting Mundo. Again, you can see the tankiness, the damage, everything just pretty absurd. But we get the Mundo flash out as well. Nyla trying to chase them down, doesn't quite kill. And again, we want to just probably go back to the side lane now at this point that we've gotten. We might want to recall for some health or something like that, and then go to the side lane. Probably actually just go straight to a team fight now that I look at it, because the dragon's spawning in a minute, and the Elder Dragon's kind of the game-winning objective. So now, because of the fact that Talon and Lucian are fed, we're going to go for the Crystalline Reflector. We're going to get back for that Seeker's Arm Guard, because that's a pretty important component as well, giving us that 30 extra armor. And now just going straight through mid again, looking for that team fight. So say that you didn't feel confident you could win a team fight, you might want to just go top side, push out, on the side lane or something. But because of the fact that I'm pretty confident I can carry a team fight, I'm going to just go into mid lane and try to protect my teammates by ulting if a Lucian or a Talon goes onto them, basically. And now we have a pretty fed Nyla as well, which is always nice to have. But yeah, this Elder Dragon, probably, like, overall, the main thing to try to decide the game. So that's really what we're looking at. But then our team kind of does make a dumb mistake here, get caught out, which is quite scary. But in the end, the Samira ends up going and clutching up and getting those kills there. So shout out to Samira for that play overall. But because our jungler is dead, we kind of have to wait a bit. So now we're kind of just stalling and waiting for our jungler to come. We're just going to be whacking the Mundo a little bit, because who doesn't like whacking a Mundo? You know what I mean? So overall now, I can ult him if I want, because his passive just went out. Samira somehow kills them both there. I have no idea how. And I thought his passive would have worn out, so I tried to ult him, but his passive came back. So, or not worn out, but I thought his passive was gone because I had CC'd him like 10 seconds ago, but I don't know the cooldown of Mundo passive, honestly. And so we end up getting the Elder Dragon out of this, and then we want to go straight to Baron afterwards. Typically, again, if you're trying to end the game, go Elder, then go Baron right after. That's the number one, typical tip I can give you guys, because a lot of people don't do that. And so we go right towards the Baron, trying to get that for our team, trying to zone off of the Baron as well if the Talon comes or anything like that. I'm yawning again. I do that a lot. I'm a yawner. But either way, looking for this Talon now, trying to see if we can shut him down, or not shut him down, but basically just zone him off in whatever way we can. So we're definitely just looking for him. We steal his Gromp because that's my Gromp, not his Gromp. We had to let him know that, so that's always good as well. And then now our team, again, you can see is just kind of doing the Baron pretty freely. Twisted Fate gets caught there because he wants to just make the game a bit more exciting, which I understand. And so yeah, again, we just zone here. You can see how I'm literally just standing there zoning and nobody can really walk forward. We end up getting that kill, I believe. Nope, so yeah, okay, they eventually kill there. And so now we want to just see if we can end towards the mid lane or something, or at least just push out bot lane. But Mundo's pretty tanky, so it's kind of hard to actually kill, but somehow Samira does. I mean, honestly, the Samira popped off later on in the game, so shout out to Samira for that. And now we're just going to push out the side lanes. You can see that Talon's trying to just cover the side, so he pushes out the mid lane. But we're just trying to push bot and make sure we get an inhib at least out of this, because it does look like Our Elder's already going to wear out in about 40 seconds, so we want to make sure we can force kind of quickly. I want to see if I can ult anyone and one-shot them as well. But overall, just, you know, pretty straightforward at this point how we kind of want to end this game. And then we try to ult him. I wanted to see if I could actually kill him here. I don't remember if I do, I'm going to be honest. Don't think I do. Maybe I do. We do kill him. Okay, that was scary. Okay, we ended up killing them both, so that was scary. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen there, but we do end up killing them, so shout out to us. We got another snipe onto the onto the Lysandre there, so we end up killing 3 people there. Pretty funny, honestly. That's really just the Liandry's plus you know, Elder Dragon kind of popping off there, obviously, at that point. And then here, Talon thinks he can kill us, but, you know, Talon is wrong. Talon's a silly goose, even. So we end up getting the snipe onto the Talon as well. Popping off 15, 2, and 6 at this point, so I think we just end the game here, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be mistaken. Guess we'll see. We just keep trying to fight that Mundo, getting a bunch of damage onto him, and then, yeah, we end the game here. So overall, again, best AP top laner in the game, Mordekaiser. Just wanted to show you guys a gameplay, show you how to play him. We really hard carried that, too. I mean, that game looked pretty lost until we started popping off. So as always, I do coaching for $15 an hour, and I have memberships on my YouTube channel for $5 a month. So if you're interested in that, check that out, and I will see you guys in the next video.